Lust is a powerful and destructive force, one that can derail even the wisest among us. No one understood this better than King Solomon, the son of David and the wisest man to ever live apart from Jesus. With unmatched insight into human behavior, Solomon penned words of deep wisdom in Proverbs and Ecclesiastes that reveal both the deceptive nature of lust and the pathway to overcoming it. While Solomon himself fell into temptation later in life, his earlier writings stand as clear warnings and a roadmap to purity. If we heed his counsel, we can guard our hearts and find strength to defeat lust before it takes root and destroys us. Solomon begins with an urgent warning in Proverbs 5, saying, "For the lips of a forbidden woman drip honey, and her speech is smoother than oil, but in the end she is bitter as wormwood, sharp as a two-edged sword." He paints lust as something that seems sweet and attractive on the surface, enticing and pleasurable, but ultimately leads to pain and destruction. The lesson here is to look beyond appearances. Lust often wears a mask. It offers excitement and satisfaction, but it hides the bitter consequences that come after. Solomon urges us to see with discernment, not with our eyes alone. One of Solomon's greatest tools for defeating lust is discipline through wisdom. He consistently pleads with his sons to get wisdom, get understanding. Proverbs 4:7. Wisdom gives a person foresight, the ability to see the end from the beginning. While lust clouds judgment and drives impulsive behavior, wisdom brings clarity. It reminds us of what truly matters, the condition of our soul, the health of our relationships, and our standing before God. Solomon teaches that wisdom doesn't just come naturally, it must be sought after diligently, like hidden treasure. Those who fill their hearts with God's truth are far less likely to be consumed by lustful fantasies. Solomon also highlights the power of guarding one's heart. In Proverbs 4:23, he says, "Above all else, guard your heart, for everything you do flows from it." Lust doesn't begin with a physical act. It begins in the heart. The battle is internal before it ever becomes external. What we feed our hearts through our eyes, ears, and thoughts will determine whether lust takes root. Solomon would encourage us today to limit what we expose ourselves to, whether it's media, conversations, or situations that provoke impure thoughts. Guarding the heart is an act of vigilance, choosing purity before passion ever arises. Another profound insight Solomon gives is the importance of delighting in your own spouse. In Proverbs 5:18-19, he writes, "Let your fountain be blessed, and rejoice in the wife of your youth. Be intoxicated always in her love." Rather than simply telling us what to avoid, Solomon provides a healthy alternative: faithfulness and joyful love within marriage. Lust thrives in dissatisfaction. But when we focus on nurturing intimacy, affection, and appreciation within our own marriage, the power of temptation weakens. Gratitude for what God has given keeps us from chasing what He has forbidden. In Ecclesiastes, Solomon reflects on the emptiness of pursuing pleasure for its own sake. "Whatever my eyes desired, I did not keep from them," he admits. "I kept my heart from no pleasure. And behold, all was vanity and a striving after wind." Ecclesiastes 2:10-11. Solomon had it all: wealth, women, power. Yet in the end, he found it meaningless. This is a sober warning. No amount of lustful indulgence will satisfy. In fact, it leaves us emptier than before. The fleeting thrill always fades, and what remains is regret. Solomon shows that only a life grounded in the fear of God and obedience to His word can bring lasting joy. Lastly, Solomon urges us to remember that God sees all. In Proverbs 5:21, he writes, "For a man's ways are before the eyes of the Lord, and He ponders all His paths." This truth should not frighten us, but sober us. We may hide from people, but we cannot hide from God. Lust loses its grip when we live with the awareness that God is near, watching and guiding us. His presence gives us the strength to resist and the grace to repent when we fail. King Solomon's wisdom teaches us that defeating lust is not just about saying no in the moment. It's about shaping our hearts with wisdom, guarding our thoughts, delighting in God's gifts, and living with eternal perspective. The path of purity is not easy, but it is blessed. If we walk it with humility and vigilance, we can overcome the snares of lust and walk in freedom.